seen what I'm calling the invasion coming to the southern border of the United States. This is not good, guys. This is not good. A little bit of razor wire. I promise you, if a 30-foot wall isn't going to keep people out, a little bit of razor wire ain't going to stop them either. They'll clip through that. I mean, they're not going to put border guards and DPS agents. They're not going to put National Guardsmen down there on those spots 24/7. They're just not going to do that. Eventually, this is just going to open itself right back up. This one isolated clip, it's something. I mean, again, give credit where it's due, but this is not enough. This is just simply not enough. Because whenever you have bureaucrats in Washington, D.C., all the way up to a presidential administration that's just telegraphing to other nations that it's okay to come here without any ramifications, they're going to come. And a little bit of razor wire is not going to stop the overwhelming flow that is on the way. Now, Alejandro Mayorkas, the Secretary of Homeland Security, had this to say on Texans blocking illegals from crossing. Play the clip.
We've just seen some images from Texas showing Texas National Guard and DPS physically blocking migrants from climbing up the riverbanks and accessing U.S. soil. Does the department believe that that's a legal enforcement posture by the state of Texas?
Nick, I'm going to leave it to our Department of Justice to speak to the lawfulness or lack thereof of those actions.
Yeah, so we're going to send that over to the Department of Justice to see if these men and women at the top of that bank that are in uniform repelling the people coming up that embankment, to see if they are engaged in an illegal action. Forget the fact that the people climbing up the bank from the river are engaged in an illegal act. Mayorkas is going to submit these men and women in uniform who are repelling the illegal actions to see if they are engaged in an illegal act. This is the clown world shit show we're living in, when the Secretary of Homeland Security has to determine whether or not these men in uniform who are there with authority under the direction supposedly of the governor of the great state of Texas. I'm trying to figure it out here. I'm just trying to figure out where the logic is. The fact that a reporter has to ask the question, are we going to hold these people who are in uniform, who have a badge, who have taken an oath to defend our property, to defend our person, to defend our rights, to defend and protect our liberty? We're going to see, are they engaged in an illegal activity? Put the picture back up there of the river again. Put the picture up there. So on one side of razor wire, you have people in uniform. I can't stress this enough. On the other side of the razor wire in the river are people actively engaged in a criminal activity. And the reporter has the audacity, the raw gall, the balls to ask the Secretary of Homeland Security, are the people in uniform disobeying the law? Should Texas be held accountable? This is why I'm saying, I told you yesterday, if you missed the first segment, the first 15 minutes of yesterday's show, when you're done with this episode, go back and rewatch it. Because again, we're not living constitutionally anymore. We're not. The fact that you're accusing border agents, DPS, National Guard, law enforcement of breaking the law by protecting people's property, protecting our nation, protecting our border, protecting our sovereignty, making sure that they stem the flow of illegal activity coming into our nation. We're going to submit that to the Department of Justice. Wow. All right. Mayorkas says the border's not open. I mean, a little bit of razor wire's got them shut down, maybe. Play that clip.
Let me be clear.
Let me be clear.
The lifting of the Title 42 public health order does not mean our border is open.
What does it mean?
In fact, it is the contrary.
Is it? Because 750,000 people south of the border don't seem to think so. The streets in El Paso are literally flooded with El Salvadorans. Now, I don't know how well you guys did in geography. I don't know if you know where El Salvador is. I don't know if you understand the landmass that is between the southern border of the United States and El Salvador. But somehow, unless again, like some of these Chinese nationals found the wormhole from Beijing, somehow they found a wormhole from El Salvador to El Paso. They walked a long way with a very intent purpose. I mean, a very clear mission in mind to get to the U.S. And here they are. They're here. They're literally in our country. 6.3 million illegals that we know of have crossed the southern border of the United States this year alone. The border has not been open. The border has not been secure. In fact, it has been open. You ask anybody that's come across right there, those guys, listen, that's why those guys, if you look at that clip of them in the river, they were just turning around to go find another place. Is your microphone on? Make sure it's on. That's what they did.
They literally, I went to the Bill, which is the guy from Fox News. They literally just panned to the right. They just went the other way.
Yeah.
So it's not like they were effective. If you think about it, they weren't effective in stopping those 40 illegals from crossing over. All they did was push them down a little bit further, and that's it.
Yeah. And notice the optics, too, of that river crossing. First of all, optics is everything because I've been to the border. I've been to where there's pieces of wall that you can walk to the end of it and just walk around it. The optics on that, you've got small children, particularly young girls, little girls, on the shoulders of these migrants. The optics is everything. How dare these evil law enforcement members repel these children, put them back in the river, these poor babies on the shoulders of these other, there's a lot to the optics right there. A lot of fighting age males, let's put it that way, with little girls on their shoulders. I'll let you deduct from what I'm saying what potentially could be happening here.